Hello everyone and welcome you all to Quick Solutions for All India Akash Test Series Medical 2020. Today I am going to take up the zoology part of the paper, which is test paper number 6, code A and B in zoology. So let's get started with the very first question. Question number 136. The part of respiratory system marked as X represents. Now this is the diagrammatic representation of human respiratory system, which is given in your NCERT book, and here this X represents larynx, which is followed by another part of respiratory system, trachea, which divides at the level of fifth thoracic vertebrae into left and right primary bronchi. This is lung and this is diaphragm. So the correct answer to this question that X represents is larynx. So the correct answer to this question is option number 1, larynx. Let's discuss the rest of the options. The next option given is option number 2, pharynx, and this cannot be a correct answer to our question because nasal chamber or nares opens into pharynx. The next option is bronchi, and this cannot be a correct answer to our question as trachea divides at the fifth thoracic vertebrae into left and right primary bronchi. So this cannot be a correct answer. The last option is eustachian tube, and this cannot be a correct answer to our question. Eustachian tube equalizes pressure between middle ear and outer ear. So the correct answer to this question is option number 1. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 137. Blank is the blood vessel which carries maximum amount of urea. Now choose the option which fills the blank correctly, and the options given are cystic vein, splenic vein, renal vein and hepatic vein. Now urea is formed in liver by ornithine cycle, which is carried away by hepatic vein. So it carries maximum amount of urea. Whereas urea is removed from blood by kidneys, and this filtered blood is carried away by renal vein, which carries minimum amount of urea. So maximum amount of urea is carried by hepatic vein, which is a correct answer to our question, whereas renal vein is an incorrect option because it carries minimum amount of urea. The next option is cystic vein, and this cannot be a correct answer to our question because cystic vein drains blood from gallbladder to portal vein. And the next option is splenic vein, and this cannot be a correct answer to our question because splenic vein drains blood from spleen to liver via portal system. So the correct answer to this question is option number 4. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 138. Number of heme molecules present in one molecule of hemoglobin are, and each molecule of hemoglobin consists of 4 polypeptide chains, comprises 2 alpha chains and 2 beta chains, and each chain folded to provide binding site for a heme group. Heme group which can bind to one molecule of oxygen. So number of heme molecules present in one molecule of hemoglobin are 4, and the correct answer to this question is option number 4. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 139. blood cells which primarily increase in number during helminthic allergic conditions are, and the options given are neutrophils, eosinophils, erythrocytes and lymphocytes. And the correct answer to this question is option number 2, eosinophils. Eosinophils are non-phagocytic cells and their number increased during helminthic allergic conditions, and they play a role in immunity. Let's discuss the rest of the options. The very first option given is neutrophils, and this is an incorrect option. Neutrophils are phagocytic granulocytes. The next option is erythrocytes, and this cannot be a correct answer to our question. Erythrocytes are red blood cells or RBCs which carry or transport oxygen and some amount of carbon dioxide. And the last option is lymphocytes, and this cannot be a correct answer to our question because lymphocytes are non-phagocytic agranulocytes. And they also play role in immunity. So the correct answer to this question is option number 2. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 140. Blood flow from vena cava to the diastolic right atrium of heart is due to. And the options given are pressure difference between the post cava and atrium. Second option is stimulation of SA node generating electrical activity. Third option given is stimulation of AV node by the SA node, and the last option given is contraction of cardiac muscles. And blood flow from vena cava to diastolic right atrium of heart is because of the pressure difference between the post cava and atrium. So the correct answer to this question is option number 1. Whereas rest of the options, stimulation of SA node generating electrical activity, option number 3, stimulation of AV node by the SA node, and option number 4, contraction of cardiac muscles. These events are responsible for causing contraction of heart muscle or cardiac muscles and for systole rather than diastole. So the correct answer to this question is option number 1. Let's move on to the next question.